Please join me in welcoming Ted Kooser.
Thank you. I was telling somebody a few minutes ago that I'm going to read a poem about spring. I was telling somebody a few minutes ago that this year the vernal equinox comes at the perfect time because yesterday, driving through the country out where I live, everything was still that sort of dusty, donkey hide brown. And this morning, all of a sudden, everything was slightly green. It just happened overnight. I don't write many longish poems. Most of my poems are quite short. And in a way, though this is a long poem, it's made up of a lot of short images and scenes. I decided a couple of years ago that I would try to write some poems about just daily life out where we live. We live 3 miles west of Rancho Lake in Seward County out here. And so this is a poem called "The Morning in Early Spring" that I thought would be appropriate. First light, and under stars our elm glides out of darkness to settle on its nest of shadows, spreading its feathers to shake out the night. Above a satellite, one shining bead of mercury burying thousands of voices rolls toward the light in the east. The Big Dipper, for months left afloat in a bucket of stars, has begun to leak. Each morning it settles a little north. A rabbit bounces over the yard like a knot at the end of a rope that the new day reels in, tugging the night and coiling it away. A fat robin bobs her head, hemming a cloth for her table, pulling the thread of a worm, then neatly biting it off. My wife, in an old velour robe, steps off a 50-yard length of the dawn, out to the road to get the newspaper, each step with its own singular sound. Each needle in the windbreak bends to the breeze, the windmill turns clockwise, then ticks to a stop. No other day like this one. A crocus like a wooden match, Ohio blue tip, flares in the shadows that drip from the downspout. This is a morning that falls between weathers, a morning that hangs dirty gray in the sky like a sheet from a bachelor's bed, hung out to dry but not dry yet, the air not warm nor cool, and my wife within it, bearing the news in both hands like a tray. Along the road to east and west, on the dark north side of fence posts, thin fingers of shadowy snowdrifts pluck and straighten the fringe on a carpet of fields. Clouds float in like ships, flying the pennants of east, and the trees like tuning forks begin to hum. Now a light rain fingers the porch roof, trying the same cold key over and over. Spatters of raindrops cold as dimes, and a torn gray curtain of cloud floats out of a broken windowless sky. Icy patches of shadows race over the hills. No other day like this one, not ever again. Now, for only a moment, sleet sifts across the shingles, pale beads threaded on filaments of rain, and the wind dies. A threadbare pillowcase of snow is shaken out, then draped across the morning, too thin to cover anything for long. None other like this. All winter, the earth was sealed by a lid of frost, like a layer of paraffin over the apple jelly, or the white disk of chicken fat on soup left to cool. But now, in cold tin sheds with dripping roofs, old tractors warm their engines, burning the feathery mouse nests from red exhausts, rattling the jars of cotter pins, shaking gaskets on nails, and stirring the dirty rags of cobweb. And young farmers who have already this morning put on the faces of ancestors and have shoved the cold red fists of grandfathers, fathers, and uncles deep in their pockets, stand framed in wreaths of diesel smoke, looking out into the wet black fields from doors that open into spring. 20 miles east of where we live, the day blows out the candles of the city, streetlight by streetlight, and the thin smoke of rain drifts away, while 250,000 people go to their windows to peer out into what's coming, holding their cups like beggars, asking for little. In first light, I bend to one knee. I fill the old bowl of my hands with wet leaves and lift them to my face, a rich broth of browns and yellows, and breathe the vapor, spiced with oils, and, I suspect, just a pinch of cumin. This is my life, none other like this. Thank you.